What are those different aspects which are discussed or which are taken as an evidence when the matter is connected to rights or customs? Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and in the series of Evidence Act, we were giving all focus on chapter 2, which is on relevancy of facts, covering from section 5 to 55. In my today's session, I am going to give all focus on section 13, which is on facts relevant when right or custom is in question. Now it discusses about the different facts which are becoming relevant when the question is related to any right or customs. Now I am going to discuss the section in my first slide, then a detailed illustration. After that, I have two dedicated slides, one on right, the other one on customs. As far as custom is concerned, I have already uploaded at least two videos as I remember. One in the playlist of Hindu law, the other one in the playlist of English jurisprudence. There I have already discussed in detail on customs, but here again I have made one slide to briefly explain about customs. I hope that gives a comprehensive video for the particular section. With that, I am taking you to the first slide. Section 13 discusses about facts relevant when right or custom is in question. So this particular section is completely dedicated to rights or custom. That is the first aspect you need to remember. Here it says where the question is asked to the existence of any right or custom, the following facts are relevant. What are the following facts? Any transaction by which the right or custom in question was created, claimed, modified, recognized, asserted or denied, or which was inconsistent with its existence, and particular instances in which the right or custom was claimed, recognized or exercised, or in which its exercise was disputed, asserted or departed from. Now let us try understand word by word. There are two subclauses, subclause A and subclause B, and for both the subclauses I have made a chart. First, let us discuss the subclause A, that is the first chart, where there are 7 different questions on the right or customs related transaction. Now, if there is any transaction which is related to the right or custom, now what are the different things which become relevant? One, the creation of such right or custom. Second one, the claiming of such right or custom. Third one, if there are any modification in that right or custom, or if there are any recognition on that particular right or custom, or if there is any assertion of that right or custom. That means if somebody is declaring that this is my right or this is my custom, that also becomes relevant fact. Or if there is any denial of right or custom. Now somebody says no, this is not your right, or somebody says that no, this is not your custom, that also become a relevant fact. Or inconsistent with existence. Now somebody says this is my right and this is how it is, but when they checked, it is not exactly the way the person who has explained his right. Now it may be inconsistent with the existence whatever he has told, and the same with custom. If they are saying this is our custom, and when they check if there is any consistency other than the way the person has explained, that is also becomes a relevant fact. Now all these 7 matters becomes relevant fact when there is a question on the right or custom. While subclause A focuses on the transaction related to right or custom, subclause B focuses on particular instances. Now with this particular instances which is related to right or custom, all the 4 aspects are becoming relevant. What are the 4 aspects? Any claiming or any recognizing or any exercising, or in which in exercise was disputed, asserted or departed from. All of them will become a relevant fact. This is all you need to remember as far as section 13 is concerned, and we have a beautiful illustration in the next slide to understand section 13 in detail. Here there is a question whether A has the right over fishery or not, and this is a beautiful illustration where we are seeing three transactions and then two instances. In first three transactions, what are coming as evidence? The first one is A confers that his ancestors were doing fishery and for that a deed is available. Now that deed confers the fisheries right of A's ancestors. That is the first thing comes as an evidence. The second one, A says that my father has taken a mortgage loan on the right of fishery. Now only when you have right over something you can mortgage. So if his father has taken a mortgage, that is a clear evidence, or with that transaction it is very evident that the right of fishery was available with his father. Now the third one, he says after taking the mortgage and enjoying that mortgage, he also repaid the mortgage and took the documents back. Now that is the third evidence. First, there is a deed conferring the fishery on A's ancestor. Then A's father took a mortgage loan. Third one, A's father repaid the mortgage loan. These are the three transactions. And then comes two beautiful particular instances. What is that? One, A's father exercised the right of fishery. Second one, in which the exercise of the right was stopped by A's neighbors. Sometimes A's neighbors stopped exercising the right of fishery, so they are also becoming relevant facts. I hope nothing can make this easier than this. The two important concepts under section 13 are rights and customs. So it becomes very essential for us to understand these terms so that we understand section 13 very clearly. Now, what are rights? As for Salmond, right is an interest recognized and protected by the rule of right. That is what Salmond says. And as for section 13, we can understand rights as the standard of permitted action within a certain sphere which can be established by proof of cumulative instances and transactions. This is the capacity of a person to control the actions of others, and it also includes continuing rights. Under section 13, we can see different rights, and I have brought few here like corporeal and incorporeal rights, public and private rights, antecedent and remedial rights, perfect and imperfect rights are the few examples which we can cover under section 13. What is the length and breadth of the meaning of right under section 13 of Evidence Act? Now, different high courts had different view, and the High Court of Kolkata limited the meaning of right only to the extent of public and incorporeal rights, and it said the corporeal rights are not part of the rights which is discussed under section 13. However, the same got wider interpretation from the Allahabad, Bombay and Madras High Courts at later stages, and now it is proved that right means every right known is included. That includes private right, public right, corporeal rights, incorporeal rights, all of that. Now that is settled. The last part, that is custom. There is a famous maxim which says viv trita, viv truta, which means frequent path is reliable path. That is on the custom. Customs are the frequent path and they are the reliable path. Keaton says customary laws are those rules of human action established by usage and regarded as legally binding by those to whom the rules are applicable, which are adopted by the courts and applied as a source of law because they are generally followed by the political society as a whole or by some part of it. Now, this fixes into Indian system very beautifully. Like for example, there are customs which are followed by Hindus which are beautifully covered under the Hindu Marriage Act, Adoption Act, etc. Likewise, there are customs followed by Muslims and the same are respected. That is how a political society looks about customs. Now, when we discuss about customs, there are different types of customs and I have brought two important types. One is legal custom, the other one is conventional custom. Among legal, we have general, which is observed by the entire state, and then we have local based on that particular village or tribe, and sometimes there are family customs are also available which are limited to those families. Likewise, we have conventional customs like which is followed via agency or under contract or in partnership or maybe in sale of goods, etc. I'm not saying that these are the only two types of customs, but these are the two major types of customs. Now let's move to the validity of customs. Here I have a long list. I'm not going to getting into the details of all those things. I will just brief very simply. The first one, immemorial antiquity. That means nobody should know from when such custom is followed. The origin should not be able to traceable. That is very important aspect. Second one, it should be continuous in nature. Once the custom is started following from the immemorial antiquity, there should not be any break in following that particular custom. Third one, the custom should be a peaceful enjoyment. Like for example, we had sati system in India. That was also one of the custom, but now we are no more practicing it because it is not peaceful enjoyment. That is why it is being removed. That is very important aspect we need to understand. Custom should be peaceful enjoyment. Third one, obligatory force. Once we as a community have accepted a particular custom, that should have obligation to follow. Otherwise, it will not continue. That will not be considered as custom. The next one is certainty. We need to know that how exactly such custom is followed. Like for example, Saptapadi. We know it is about 7 steps which is taken during marriage. That needs to be very certain, and consistency is one of the most important aspect of a valid custom. If there is no consistency, then it is not a valid custom. It should be reasonable, that is very important, and it should go in conformation with law of land. That is one another very important aspect. Like for example, earlier in India we had slavery system, but today we don't have, because slavery is not allowed as per the law of land of India, and hence it is not going with law of land. We are not considering that as a valid custom, and it is no more available. Only when it goes in conformity with law, that becomes a valid custom. Then comes the opinion. There should be positive public opinion about a custom, otherwise it will be removed, like for example sati system. And finally, the observation of such custom should be voluntary, and if it is not voluntary, if it is not having peaceful enjoyment of such custom, then that cannot be considered as valid custom. These are the few important requirements as far as validity of customs are concerned. That's my time on section 13, and I hope you have very clearly understood the meaning of the term right and customs. And now I hope you know when a transaction or a particular instances are becoming a relevant evidence when the topic is connected to a right or custom. With that, I am concluding my presentation. Thank you so much for subscribing my channel. Please like, share and comment my videos. All the very best for whatsoever purpose you are referring my channel, and thanks again.